The Angry Chicken is a production of Amove TV. Bookmark amove.tv for more gaming and esports shows. The Angry Chicken is directly supported by listeners like you via patreon.com/TAC.
Everyone, get in here! Ready for action! I've got the beast in my sight.
A podcast about Hearthstone, Heroes of Warcraft. This is The Angry Chicken.
Welcome back, everyone. This is The Angry Chicken with all three of us. That includes Willie Dills Gregory, Jocelyn Moffat, and me, Garrett. We're all back!
Hooray!
Yay! Which
I
also,
never went anywhere.
You never went anywhere, Dills. Yeah, because you're dedicated and shite, but feels good.
Actually, I think I will be gone for no. Actually, I think I'll be back. I don't know. I might be gone for a show this month, so
Good.
forget that whole
Take a
dedicated
holiday.
thing.
yeah, just please do. So that when I say us both being back, sadly does mean our vacations are over, but that's fine. I'm excited. I shook the rust off yesterday, doing a spoiler show with Jocelyn. So this will be
For like literally 3 hours. So we're really warmed up for the 3-hour card show.
long episode, and this is going to be another long episode. I can't wait to get on into the Nexus later this week, where there's nothing to talk about except a new patch and a new hero and a new map rotation. Yeah, it's just a great week to come back after taking a week off of podcasting. Blizzard's being real quiet.
A lot going on.
Indeed it is. So, anyways, how's Hearthstone been treating everybody? Dills, are you tired of Hearthstone yet, man?
Nope.
I doubt it, because they've been giving you free arena runs. I came home from vacation and just had
nothing but arena basically lately. I got
A lot of
to
people have been doing that.
Yeah, I got to rank 5, and then the whole thing with the Frost Festival started, and I was like, well, I guess we're not doing that anymore. So we swapped right on over, and we've been doing okay. I thought there was going to be this super soft meta, but and that is true. There are definitely some new players out there, but I find that every time I get to 5,
I've been giving so
wins
many people free wins.
Sure. A free win is nice, but every time I get to 5 wins, I just run into a deck that's just insanely better than mine. So when I do draft a really, really good deck, then I do okay. But man, I had a priest draft the other night where I thought I had a good deck, and I got to 11 wins, and I played some actual good priest decks. I was like, I'm going to mind control that big thing. They're like, yeah, I'm going to do that too. And then I'm going to do it again the next turn. And I'm going to do it one more time.
So you're saying it's mind control chicken. First one first one to mind control loses.
First one to run out of mind controls loses, basically. And I was that one because I only had one of them.
Oh, man,
but it's been fun. It's nice to jump back in and play this amount of arena. So
I've been
I did get 12 with a Dinomancy Hunter. That was pretty fun.
Nice.
Yeah, Dinomancy was my first pick, and then for the next 6 picks, there was no beasts, and I started to freak out a little bit. And then, almost everything from then on was a beast. So
that's incredible.
Things went well.
That's really good. The best run I've had since I got back was with a really weird hunter deck, as a matter of fact. I only got to 7 wins. But apparently before I left, I built this thing and forgot about it. And so then I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. Frost Festival's going on. Free arena runs. Let me get in there. And I'm like, oh, there's a hunter deck already sitting here. So I took it out for a spin, took it up to 7 wins, and it had 2 smugglers crates. It was the weirdest. I don't even know what I was doing when I built that thing, but it did really well for me.
It's a good time to be playing, and I want to make sure everybody just play your 3 games, get your free packs, whether you like arena or not. Just get in there because Blizzard's giving you free stuff. Mm-hmm. Don't miss out.
It's fantastic, and I love Jocelyn, you can correct me here. I don't know the ice elemental's name. Do you?
Which one?
The one that talks to you. And
Ahoon.
Ahoon, okay.
Ahoon.
It's the boss that you killed during the Midsummer Fire Festival in WoW.
I love how much smack he talks about Ragnaros. It makes me really...
He
apparently
really
they
hates
have
that
a
guy.
feud I didn't know about. So
Yeah, I really dig what their that level of humor. Again, so much better than Mulligans. So much better than Mulligans.
Mm-hmm.
Doing a good job. Well, most of today is going to be card reviews, so I hope you all can get comfortable out there, or you have a lot of work to do. But before we do that, we have a sponsor to thank on this episode. Harrys.com is sponsoring this episode of The Angry Chicken. They are the creators of very high-quality blades to shave your face with, or any other part of your body.
Legs.
Your choice.
Works on legs, too.
Works on legs. Jocelyn and Katie could vouch for that. I haven't really shaved my legs with it, or
I haven't tried that. I'll give it a go. It's summertime. Time to start swimming.
Exactly. Garrett just got back from a vacation on the beach. You're telling me that you didn't shave your legs so you could swim faster? I don't believe you.
Not a professional swimmer. You could never beat a shark, Garrett.
Yeah.
People were
a bear shark.
People were actually talking about that at the pool. Anyways, so you should go to harrys.com/TAC right now, because if you've ever been slightly interested in, I don't know, saving some money on your shaving habit while keeping the quality high, you should go to harrys.com/TAC, because you can sign up for a free trial set. All you have to do is pay shipping. It comes with a razor handle, a 5-bladed cartridge, shaving gel, and a travel case. Again, free when you sign up. All you have to do is pay for shipping. We love Harry's Razors here on The Angry Chicken. We really appreciate them continuing to support the show. So my dad, again, he actually brought, because we did a family vacation, he brought his Harry Razors with him. And I was just like, oh, look, we have the same razors, except his is silver, because he got that cool Father's Day box back on Father's Day. But we thank them for their support. Go to harrys.com/TAC to try them out for yourself with that free trial. Now, before we get to cards, there is one thing that we should probably mention. Ben Brode's Arthas rap. He has returned. Spittin' mad rhymes. And Jocelyn, you're a lore nerd. What'd you think of this? He basically told the entire story of Arthas in the form of a rap.
I know, and I haven't watched it yet.
Whoa! All right.
What?
Go watch it. Stop the show.
What?
It's really good.
Yeah.
It's really, really good. And it's factually accurate. I'm wondering if he had a ghostwriter or if this was all Ben Brode, because
I hope it was Brode.
It's very intricate and
but that's what I was worried about, right? I think we talked about this last week, Dills, where I was like, we know that it's going to be a rap, but last time he did it in a day. We know it was totally Brode. It was called for by Reddit, and it was like spur of the moment.
Sure.
And now he's had months to think about what he's going to do.
This has editing. It has, stuff from Warcraft 3 and everything in there. It is this is a big production this time.
Yeah, so I'm
I don't care if somebody helped him. Like it's really good. Like, it is so good. It made the front page of just all Reddit,
all of
Reddit, Hearthstone, like just everything.
Every Reddit ever.
Reddit.com.
Yeah,
page of that.
Yeah, Jocelyn, show a little respect. I would like to see you, Jocelyn, take a rap that exists, someone else's rap, and rap it.
No, rap is not my thing. You do not want to see me attempt to rap.
Wait, you're not a dope rapper?
No, I am not.
Oh man, I was told you were a dope rapper, but all right. It was amazing. Everybody go check it out. It also, again, better at 1.25 speed. So
really?
100%.
Yeah.
So
it's like some Eminem-ish at 1.25. It's like really good.
So I was curious if I could have the floor for just a minute, because I've been getting so many damn tweets about this rap. Everyone's like, Garrett, what do you think about Ben Brode's rap about your favorite video game character in the history of anything? And I came to a realization that there's only one real way to give my feedback on Ben Brode's rap. And sadly, it requires a beat, but I happen to have a really crappy one right here. So I figured I'll try something very weird and live, and hopefully it doesn't suck. But here it goes. Ben Brode thinks Arthas is a bad guy. I disagree. You said the story of Arthas is a little dark. I contend he's a hero, your rap missed the mark. Where did Arthas go wrong? He never stopped being right. Uther lacked the stones, he was too drunk on the light. He should have listened to Arthas, but instead he stalled. He should have purged the town, he should have killed them all. That's okay because Arthas did what needed to be done. He brought the hammer down, he bodied everyone. So the townsfolk died, what would you have preferred? Every beating heart in Azeroth turned into the scourge? What I'm trying to say, you Alliance can't see. Arthas saved our world and you should bend the knee.
I give that 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
Well done, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
5 out of a total 5.
Just had to.
Although I'll say this, the beat needed a little more oomph, but you carried it.
Good
job.
I made that in 5 seconds in GarageBand. So.
I thought maybe you just went to like rapbeats.com or something like that.
No.
Rapbeats.game, probably.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, rapbeats.game. Definitely.
Yeah. I actually, I was just like, oh god. I started writing stuff down. I'm like, oh god damn it, I'm actually gonna do this, aren't I? So yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed that. I've been dreading doing that, but I put too much effort in to say no, and by too much effort, I mean 5 seconds on a GarageBand beat, but.
You did
it was good.
very,
It was
very
a different
well.
take, you know,
Yeah.
on the same old story.
Lore-wise, you're not wrong.
Yeah, I mean, what you gonna do? What like if Uther had been in there, we'd all be just undead zombie folk.
Yeah.
Look,
We
I'd
wouldn't
pick
even
up
have World of
Frostwing.
Warcraft.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd do it. I'd kill my dad. I'd do all that stuff.
Well, yeah, he definitely takes a turn, but as far as Stratholme goes.
Yep.
I'd murder a bunch of people and turn them into death knights to serve me and my own private army. Yeah, I'd do all that.
All right, cool. Well, now that that's out of the way, and by the way, Brode, good job on that rap. Let's
Actually, before we jump into card talk, there was one more rap that I actually did watch. Did you guys see Jackie Chan's card reveal? Because that was so freaking funny too.
Yeah.
So
really
apparently Hearthstone raps are a thing now.
Yeah. Everyone's just got to be a dope rapper now.
Yep.
Apparently.
He took like a pretty lackluster card and made a pretty interesting deal. So good on him.
All right, well let's get into the card talk because we got so many damn cards to talk about today. So like I said, I hope you listening at work have a lot of stuff to get done today. Let's kick it off with hero cards because since you guys have recorded and even since I have last recorded, 2 more hero cards have been revealed. We've first up the Mage hero card, which is Frost Lich Jaina. Going to cost you 9 mana to cast this hero card. So there, and go ahead and answers my much earlier question of are all hero cards going to cost the same amount of mana? The answer is no. So Frost Lich Jaina coming out real late in the game. You're going to get 5 armor when you cast this. But more importantly, has a battle cry of summon a 3/6 water elemental. Additionally, your elementals have lifesteal this game. And that's not all, Johnny, because it also changes your hero power to Icy Touch, which is still going to cost you 2 mana like every hero power ever. But it changes it to deal 1 damage. If this kills a minion, summon a water elemental.
Which actually kind of synergizes a little bit with Syndragosa now, because at first we're like, why would you want 0/1 frozen champions? That's dumb, because you can ping them, get legendaries, and water elementals, so that makes
so here's how you do this. You go turn 8 Blizzard Doomsayer, get a fresh board, then turn 9, you turn into Frost Lich Jaina, you get a 3/6 that has lifesteal. And then turn 10, Syndragosa, ping one of them, get another 3/6, and have an 8/8. And everything has lifesteal.
Yeah,
it's actually realistic that could happen, and you'd win the game from there, probably, right?
It's pretty gross. I like this. I like this a lot. These hero cards got me so damn flipping excited. Including,
a lot of people are saying this is too slow, but I'm like, man, it's Mage.
You can
set this up pretty easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
And the fact that it's giving your elementals lifesteal, like Mage is already a class that can stall because of things like Ice Block, and they're not losing Ice Block. It's not going into the Hall of Fame. That's still a thing.
At least, well, we don't know that yet, but
probably not.
No, there's no word that it is.
Not before this expansion hits.
Yeah.
Like that's not happening. If it does, cool. I can't wait to eat that hat. That's a hat I want to eat. But you're going to have Ice Block, and then all of your elementals get lifesteal. If you build an elemental deck, if you stall it out with Ice Block, if you drop this and you have an elemental or 2 on board, you're going to be getting life back on top of your Ice Block, on top of breaking the game with a hero power that summons water ellies.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of, if you can get this down, to me it feels a little like Jiraxis, right? Like it just kind of sets up inevitability. And it's hard to play. It's hard to have a turn to play it. But if you can, then you've probably, if you can get it down on the fresh board or even somewhat close to that, you'll probably just win from there, right? So, seems pretty good.
Yeah,
I don't think this should cost less. I think 9 is the right amount because this should be hard to play.
Yeah, if it was any less, this would just be insane.
Yeah.
Like, auto win, everyone would just be playing mage. It would be stupid.
Yeah. The thing is, now we just have to find out, is this better, because you're going to have to build like a control mage. Is this better than just playing a freeze mage and then pyroblasting them to just kill them? Or is it better to do this? Like, that's kind of where it's going to be now. If this sees play, it has to compete at least with that as far as a win rate, right? So.
Well, I think this is going to be powerful enough to compete with that, and I think more importantly, this is probably going to have a little bit of a smaller skill requirement than Freeze Mage. Like, Freeze Mage is very technical. There's a lot of math involved. You have to think many, many turns ahead. This is much more minion-based, so I think it's going to be a lot easier for the majority of players to kind of wrap their head around.
Maybe. I don't think you actually... I think, though, what's one thing that I think people look at this and they think, well, I'm going to have to put elementals into my deck. And I don't think you actually do. I think you just kind of build the control mage, right? So it's going to be very similar to freeze mage in a lot of ways. It's going to be stalling the board. It's going to be playing ice blocks. It's going to be casting big AoE and stuff like that. It's not probably going to be load your deck up with elementals, then they all have lifesteal magically. Because the 3/6s are enough, right?
Yeah.
Not only are they healing you, they're freezing whatever they hit. Like,
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I think it's worth...
Yeah.
Oh, and they have Pyros too, right? I think Pyros would be a really good addition.
Pyros you could throw in there for sure.
Yeah,
Just making a 10/10 that heals you for 10 whenever it hits.
Yeah, you've,
Seems all right.
Yeah.
yeah, you've got... I mean, there's also plenty of neutral elementals. I think it's worth at least attempting, see what happens. And there's still some cards to be revealed. We don't know. There might be a few more elementals coming down the line for mages. So you might be able to have a strong core of elementals to get you through the mid-game to the late game. And why not just take it longer? So I don't know. I think there's a minion based attempt to be made here. But
so just real quick, somebody in chat mentioned this, and I talked about it on my stream, and I don't think we know for sure, but I do not believe elemental battle cries will heal you when they happen. I think the lifesteal only happens on like the actual attack of the minion, not so like blaze callers when they battle cry. I don't think that heals you.
Yeah. That's actually that.
But we got to see it.
We need some science.
We got to see it in action. Exactly. We haven't seen lifesteal yet, but
no,
I'm pretty sure it does.
I'm calling it right now. It doesn't. It just doesn't.
It just wouldn't make sense, right?
That I guess so, but it is the elemental dealing the damage, and I mean, if you put lifesteal on like Knife Juggler, his knives do the lifesteal effect, right?
I don't think so.
No.
I wouldn't think so.
No,
I mean, they do the poisonous thing, but I don't think they do lifesteal.
It's
lifesteal is
lifesteal is
I don't know. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
Lifesteal is, I believe, tied to attack, which is different from targeted effects. So something like swinging with a minion or swinging with a weapon, where that damage being dealt out is also susceptible to damage being dealt back if you hit something with an attack value.
Yeah. I don't think... See, I only base this on the fact that in Magic, Life Drain or whatever doesn't work in a similar fashion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
So, but it could be different. It could be different. This science will have to be done. But if that is true, then absolutely Blaze Collars would make a lot of sense when you have Lifesteal, right? So, we'll see.
All right. We've got a lot of cards to talk about, so just moving right along. Thrall Deathseer is the Shaman hero card. This is going to cost you only 5 mana to cast, still going to give you that 5 armor. The battle cry on this reads, transform your minions into random ones that cost 2 more, and then it changes your hero power into Transmute Spirit, which for 2 mana, you will be able to transform a friendly minion into a random one that costs 1 more. So you're just the evolution freaking master with Thrall Deathseer.
Which is kind of funny because I thought he was going to have some kind of ice power. I think like with the destroy any frozen minion, all that kind of the cryostasis card, like all that stuff that came out, I was like, okay, he's going to be able to like freeze stuff with his hero power or something. Yeah, nope.
Nope. They went with absolutely the complete different thing of we're making Evolve a even bigger part of Shaman.
Yeah.
I like that though, because Evolve is very much, it's the fun thing I think of when I think of what is Shaman in Hearthstone. I think of Evolve. When I think of the it's tricky and hard to play around, I think of Overload.
Sure. So this I mean, obviously, if you could save it till turn 10, you can double Gangster and this at the same time, and you get 3 7-drops. And then the next turn, you can turn one of those 7 drops into an 8-drop after you've made a trade, and You don't have totems that you can evolve anymore, but you'd make a deck full of token generation, right? So this will probably be a fairly popular shaman archetype, I think.
If anything else, I'm gonna have fun. Like, that's really all I'm happy about. And I'm gonna take it into wild. And I'm gonna throw Garrison Commander in there, and I'm gonna use my hero power twice. It's gonna be wonderful.
This is going to be really good, I think, because it's not going to be that hard at 5 mana to pair it, even if your board continues to get wiped. It's not going to be that hard to pair it with some card that generates something. So you get a little value on the first turn you play it. And then from there on, it's like you're just kind of getting free evolves every turn, right? So
yep.
Seems good.
I dig it. All right, on to the Druid cards. Starting, we're going in descending order of rarity, kicking it off with the Druid legendary minion Hadronox, which is also a beast. It's a 9-mana, 3/7, with a death rattle that reads, summon your taunt minions that died this game, and give a little wink to N'Zoth.
Except it's death rattle, not battle cry, but yeah. So that's a big deal. It also
a little
has 7 health, which means it's hard to die. It's not going to die very easily. A lot of people look at this card and think it's just super OP, but it doesn't have taunt itself. So your opponent can just kind of ignore it. It's got 3 attack. It's not a huge threat. I don't know. If you play this, your opponent can just be like, all right, well, I'm just going to go face until you find a way to kill it.
This. Yeah.
Right.
And then once you kill it, then I'll deal with all the taunt minions that come out.
Yeah. It's slow.
I don't know.
It's real slow.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it makes sense, right? Because you're summoning taunt minions, you would assume that whatever the hell kind of druid you were playing, clearly not one that exists right now, but whatever druid you're playing is going to be on the slow side. But yeah, for all the reasons you just said, plus any transform effects or silences, just eats Hadronox's lunch, and you're a sad panda that just spent 9 mana to put a 3 attack threat on the board.
Yeah, 9 mana, 3/7. Oof, that's just bad. That's real bad. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 druid cards we still haven't seen yet because we have seen Spreading Plague and Crypt Lord. So, but maybe we're going to see a whole bunch of really cool taunt minions, and then so that this could be like a deck, but I don't know if this is the card that makes this deck go, you know?
So is this going to bring back like the 1/5 scarabs with taunt that come from spreading? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
if they were taunt minions at one point, then they'll come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
but it'll be like N'Zoth, where if you had better ones than your 1/5s, you're gonna hope those are the ones that come back.
Well, and that's
not
the thing, right? So
right?
I don't know if you would play like Spreading Plague in with Hadronox, because I don't know if you'd want to kind of dilute the pool with a bunch of 1/5s.
Yeah. It's like in Wild when you played, Dr. Boom, you're like, okay, the Boombots are okay, but I'd prefer Sludge Belchers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess wait till 10 and pair it with a Naturalize, and then is it worth it?
Yeah, you could naturalize your own guy, give your opponent 2 cards, play 10 mana worth of stuff, and summon a bunch of 1/5s. Sure.
Why not?
Seems not that good.
We'll see. I'm not counting it out.
It's a weird card. We'll see.
It kind of depends, I think, on what the landscape looks like. If, say, I don't know, Poisonous just starts running away, and there's always Poisonous minions going to be on the board, sure, start rolling with Hadronox. But until then, I'm a little skeptical of this legendary.
Yeah, yeah.
So, Fate Spinner is next. This is a 5-mana, 5/3 epic minion for druids that says choose a death rattle secretly, deal 3 damage to all minions, or give them +2/+2. This is so rad.
Yeah.
Well,
this is a really
cool
thing
because it gives druids a little bit more board clear, which is definitely a thing that they were lacking as a class. I don't really think that secretly matters all that much, because whether you're the druid player or the other person, like, you're going to know what they're going to want to do with this card, right? Just by looking at the state of the board. So I don't really understand secretly.
Not always. I think there's definitely room for mind games here. There's going to be some interesting board situations where it's not going to be completely obvious. I mean, yeah, there are going to be times where the other guy just has a ton of stuff on the board, but because the battle cry, or because it's a death rattle, not a battle cry, it's delayed anyway. So, like, as a board clear, it's not that great, because think of, like, Anomalous. That was never just like, hey, look at this board clear I got. You have to play the minion, then it has to die. So your opponent can just ignore it with all their little dudes, and then still get a bunch of damage in, and then the next turn you're going to kill them all, right? So like Corrupting Mist or whatever. What's the Warlock card? That
Yeah,
made
I think
everything
that's what
have
it's called,
corruption.
yeah. Everything
right?
was corrupted, yeah.
That never saw play either because, again, delayed board clear is not always that great. So I don't know if this is going to be used very much as board clear. I think oftentimes you're going to see it to buff like tokens and stuff. It's going to be weird. It's going to be weird. I got to wait and I got to try this card because we've never seen this before.
Yeah.
We have no idea how powerful that is, that bluffing mechanism.
Yeah, that's true. But the give them 2/2, that's to all minions. That's not just your own minions. So,
sure.
Yeah.
But if you're a token druid, you probably have more minions, right?
Yeah. Hopefully.
So, yeah. or you're doing it wrong.
Right, and that's why I think is interesting about this is there are definitely going to be scenarios where either of these choices are going to make your opponent sweat. So,
well, your opponent's definitely going to have to think twice every time you play it because, there are definitely players on the ladder who do things that are unexpected. So, it might make sense to you that they did the deal 3 damage, but they didn't, and then you're like, oh no. I attacked into it, and then it buffed everything. That's weird. What? So there's going to be weird stuff that happens with this card.
Yep. I agree. I'm mostly excited about the fact of having a secret choose one ability more than I am for Fate Spinner as a card. But
this particular card, yeah, this is a cool mechanic, and I hope we see more of it.
Exactly. Sure. On to Spreading Plague, a 5-mana rare druid spell that reads, summon a 1/5 scarab with taunt. If your opponent has more minions, cast this again.
This is another mechanic that I'm really excited about. The whole, if you meet a condition, then cast the spell again, because I think there's been 3 or 4 revealed now, like one for each class that have this kind of a condition on them.
We're going to talk about
I'm not really excited about Spreading Plague specifically. It's basically like Unleash the Hounds, just worded differently, right? But I really like the meeting a condition and doing it again thing.
Yeah, no, it's very cool. I think, though, that this card has a place not in a Hadronox Taunt Druid, but a big Druid. That's just trying to get to my big dudes and not be dead by the time I get there. And has a problem with aggro decks. While you're just sitting there ramping, not doing anything on the board, they're flooding the board with little guys and they're hitting your face. And then by the time you finally do get to turn 7 and you drop a Bog Creeper or whatever, you're already super low. So here's a way where you can actually stall out. And if you throw 5 1/5 taunts onto the board, or even 3 or whatever, that's really going to give you some time. So
yeah,
there's definitely room for this in a big druid type of deck, right? I think. I don't know if there's actually going to be this taunt druid, but I see it totally working there.
I'm just excited, and this is like a broader comment, that we're seeing so much text on cards. It looks like magic, and I'm really stoked.
Yeah. And this mechanic is super awesome. By the way, I believe it's been confirmed that this doesn't count as multiple casts for Yogg.
Right.
I think it just counts as one cast, and then
which kind of makes sense because it's casting itself. Yeah, it's not the player doing the casting, so that makes sense.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because it's not happening out of hand. It's just magically happening over the board.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, final druid card to talk about today. Crypt Lord, a 3-mana 1/6 common minion for druids. It has taunt, and it reads, after you summon a minion, gain +1 health.
That seems really gross.
Maybe. It seems maybe gross. A lot of people were freaking out about this card, but since it's never going to have more than 1 attack unless you spend another card buffing it, it's not going to actually trade into much. So, you can definitely hide important minions behind it. But I don't think it's what was the Warlock card that gained attack?
The Darkshire Councilman.
Councilman, yeah. I don't think it's on Councilman levels of good. That card was really good. Still is good. But, yeah, I think it's weaker than that. But it is going to allow you... There are going to be times where you're going to lose because of this card, for sure. Because they're going to get, a Flappy Bird behind it or something like that and start smashing your face in. But
well, that's I think that's the deck where it fits, right? Is something that's a little bit more aggro, that's going to be putting minions down, multiple minions per turn, so that even if this takes damage, they're just going to go, oh, okay, I'm going to, air quotes, heal it and play more minions, and then it just gets big again, and you're like, God damn it.
Well, yeah, but it's still always going to be growing, I think it's going to be growing less than your ability to deal damage to it in most cases, right? So 1/6 for 3 is already kind of like that's a big body. That's a huge butt on it, right? So you can definitely do stuff with it. But if you're playing stuff, it's more like it's annoying and not really OP, right? It's just going to be annoying.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I mean. Like it's just, I think it's just going to be annoying as hell.
Yeah. But I don't think like this card is going to be too powerful. Like a lot of people are thinking it's going to be way too powerful. I think it's going to be just fine. It's like a fair card that's just annoying.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be successful, but I like the idea of promoting slower cards in these kind of heavy minion aggro-esque decks. Like I like the idea of having a bouncer for all my little dudes that I want to protect.
Yeah, no, that is true. Although I still think Tar Creeper is going to be like a better card because Tar Creeper does go into that deck, and Tar Creeper actually trades with your opponent's minions, right?
On
because
their turn,
you just go face when it's your turn, and then force them to actually have to do the attacking. This always has the one attack, so.
Yep. Yeah. Still interesting.
Yeah, very cool idea to put a taunt minion like this out in a class like Druid. You know, it's definitely the class that could probably take advantage of this effect.
Yep. All right, onwards to Hunter, and kicking things off with the legendary minion for Hunter, Professor Putricide, a 4-mana 5/4 that reads, after you play a secret, put a random Hunter secret into the battlefield.
Double secrets!
Yeah, pretty good. Although you're probably going to be playing this on 6 and not 4, right? So it's not really a 4-drop.
Yeah, because that's the thing. You're like, oh, a 5/4 for 4 is slightly overset. It's sweet, but you're not playing it on 4.
Yeah. Or you have Cloaked Huntress up on 3 and it's still alive somehow, which actually is fairly common just because when you play Cloaked Huntress, oftentimes you also play like a Freezing Trap or something, right? So
yes,
pretty easy for this to still be alive. You'll also, though, weirdly, you'll have to play Cloaked Huntress on 3 and then not play all your secrets because then you want to play this on 4 and have some more secrets to play, right? So yeah, it's maybe Secret Hunter's a thing again. We'll see.
Yeah,
I hope so. I liked Secret Hunter quite a lot. So,
and what you just mentioned, Dills, is a decision to be made that I'm very excited about. I like the idea of, oh, all right, I've got Cloaked Huntress, but do I want to unload right now, or do I want to take a bet and see that, you know, if they don't kill Cloaked Huntress, if I can just get as many random secrets up as possible next turn?
Sure. Yeah, then you're playing Christmas Tree Hunter basically, because if you play 2 secrets, you've got 4 secrets. Wow.
There's going to be a lot of bluffing going on in this expansion if all this secret stuff actually pans out.
Yeah. Again, annoying, but kind of fun.
We'll see. Yeah, annoying but
fun. You know what the cool thing about this though? This is, again, I think, and I'm going to say this a lot probably. This is a fair card. Mad Scientist was totally busted. It for 2 mana, it pulled a secret out of your deck and played it for free, so it also had the advantage of thinning your deck. This, you actually have to get this on the board, then play a secret to get a free secret.
And not a secret from your deck, right?
Yeah, which isn't even pulling a card out of your deck.
Anything.
Yeah, so this is fair. This is how Mad Scientist should have worked in the damn first place, right? 2 mana, 2/2, play a secret, get a free secret. Like, that kind of thing would have been better. But
so one question I do have about this card, it gives you a random Hunter secret, right? So if I have Explosive Trap up, that's the one I play, then can the random secret be another Explosive Trap, or does it still follow the secret rules of
one it has to be something different. You can never have the same secret up twice, so.
Or can you?
Darn.
Well, so like Yogg will, if you cast the same secret multiple times during a Yogg sequence, the second one just doesn't even cast. And actually, it also even reveals to the opponent.
That's literally never happened to me.
Yeah. It also reveals to the opponent what secret it was. So then they know what that secret is.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird, but yeah.
Kind of weird.
So it'll always cast some secret that is not currently up.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, Abominable Bowman is next. This is a 7-mana, 6/7 epic minion for hunters with a death rattle that reads, summon a random friendly beast that died this game. Yes.
Yeah, this is real good.
Graveyard mechanics for hunters. Let's go.
Yeah, 7 mana, 6/7. When it dies, it summons the Savannah Highmane. Let's go. That's going to be when you high roll it.
Or the 2 little hyenas, but it could also summon your zombies, right?
Yeah, true that.
True that. You can summon anything, including a 1/1 cat, and you'll just
Yeah.
But that's fine. I mean, even in that case, it's still kind of gotten its vanilla value, right?
It's not the absolute end of the world, right? Because you're getting 6/7, 4/7 plus a chance at something even better.
Exactly.
I'm biting my tongue real hard, trying not to talk about card art because we have so many things to talk about, but I just have to mention on this one, this is so rad. They're using the third back arm on a abomination to actually pull the arrow back on a bow, and I think that's so cool.
Yeah, when I first saw this, I was like, this is so awkward. How is he even what? Oh, right, 3 arms.
Yep, back arm.
Yep.
Yeah, love it.
I couldn't figure out why his head was where it was.
Yep.
I think this card has a lot of potential. It's gonna be real good in Arena too, but it's not a guaranteed super good card. We'll see. It just depends on what the direction Hunter goes with, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But yeah, I think it's again fair. Wow.
Corpse Widow is next. This is a 5-mana 4/6 rare beast minion, and it reads: your death rattle cards cost 2 less.
Yeah, that's real good. This is definitely real good.
I dig.
Yeah.
I dig.
This is putting Innervate on a bunch of your cards, and it's just a must kill, right? And it's a fine body for 5 mana, right? It's a 5-mana 4/6. So.
Yeah, and it being
And
weighted towards the health, it makes it harder to kill.
I was going to say, it's the turn right before you're going to drop your high mains, right? So you play this, they burn their removal, and then you go, shabam, high main.
Sure.
And then they're like, oh.
Or if they don't burn your removal, you go shabam, high main plus hero power, because now
There
it's
you
4
go.
mana. Yeah.
Exactly.
2
Shabam.
free damage, bro.
Or Shabam, High Main, and our next card, Venom Strike Trap. 2 mana, rare
That could happen.
secret for hunters, which reads: when one of your minions is attacked, summon a 2/3 poisonous cobra.
Better than Bear Trap, for sure.
Agreed.
So it's this
a
this card
giant
is
ball
actually
of
playable.
snakes.
And it's like giving me nightmares looking at its art. So
Well done.
Wait, are you also afraid of snakes? I know your biggest fear is like being lost in space.
Yeah.
well, I don't like snakes that are bearing their fangs at me. Yeah, I'd say I'm afraid of those.
Are you not afraid of those,
I'm a
Garrett?
human being, Garrett. Of course I'm afraid of that.
I'm more a little freaked out by spiders. Like just seeing a snake, it doesn't really
But
elicit.
seeing a snake that's coming at you with its fangs out? I
Or a
mean,
real
that's
one.
what's going on here.
A real one, yeah, an illustrated one in the middle of Northrend.
Like a garden snake? No, obviously I live in Texas. I have to be able to deal with like a random snake crossing my path from time to time. So no, I'm fine. But this is terrifying.
Dills is lying. He sees the snake and just goes,
Yeah, exactly. I jump onto the nearest table.
yeah.
That's funny. It's the same damn noise he made the entire time watching Interstellar. So,
But this is, I think, though, again, good, fair card. Another secret that also it works the same way the other snake trap works, so it fits the theme there, which is good. And actual playable secret again.
it makes me want to just make like a snake-themed hunter deck because I want, I want things to get attacked and then just all the snakes just appear. Be wonderful. Bear Shark is next. Love this card so much. A 3-mana 4/3 common beast minion that cannot be targeted by spells or hero powers. Because why
it's a
play
good hunter card.
Why bother with Fairy Dragon when you can play a Bear Shark?
Yep.
Yeah,
And if
well,
you can-
Fairy Dragon's a dragon. This is a beast.
Yeah. And if you can land your Houndmaster on this, then that's just pretty damn good.
Yeah, and you should be able to,
Yeah.
unless they have minions on the board too. But yeah, it feels like if you could curve out as a hunter into this thing, you're going to be in good shape, right?
Yeah.
So you can go, Alley Cat into whatever 2-drop you have, Crackling Razor Maw into Bear Shark into Houndmaster. I think you win from there
Yeah.
most of the time.
Love it. Stitched Tracker is the final hunter card we're going to talk about today. It is a 3-mana 2/2 common minion with a battle cry that reads: discover a copy of a minion in your deck. Getting a little priesty there, a little.
Yeah.
Well,
Definitely feels
discover
tasty.
a third Savannah Highmane. That's what it is, basically.
If Savannah Highmane comes up,
Yeah, but
1 in 3
Come on.
chance. 1 in 3 chance.
that's what everyone's going to be hoping for. This is a pretty cool card because, again, it's a fair body, but it kind of fixes a problem hunters had for a long time, which is being able to fill their hand back up. Hunter lacks card draw in a big way, so here's a card that puts a body on the board and puts a card in your hand. That's pretty sweet.
It's basically like a built-in tracking, right? Because you get the option of 3 cards. The only thing is it's a copy instead of pulling
burning
it out. But
and instead of burning 2 other cards out of your deck.
yeah.
Yeah, but I mean that doesn't really matter. But and also obviously you can't look for a specific spell. You're not going to find kill command with it to like win a game, right? It's going to have to be a minion. But so like the other thing too, you're not going to be able to find like animal companion or something like that with this too. So, but if you don't play very many minions in your hunter deck, like let's say you're playing the Deathstalker Rexar deck and you're playing more of a control style deck, but you still run Savannah High Mains and stuff because they're super good. It's nice to be able to just pull them out, you know? So I could see something like that working.
Yeah, and it's a common. I think this is going to be so damn good in Arena, having played it quite a bit this weekend after I got back home. I forgot how it seems like my number one issue in Arena is running out of gas. So, Stitch Tracker all day, every day, I think, if I see it popping up.
For sure, yeah.
All right, let's move on. Let's move on to Mage, besides the hero card, which we already talked about, and kick things off with Sindragosa. We already talked a little bit about Sindragosa, but let's get into the nitty-gritty. This is going to be an 8-mana, 8/8 legendary dragon minion with a battle cry that reads, summon 2 0/1 Frost Champions. Frozen Champions. What's a Frozen Champion, you might ask yourself? Well, it's a 0/1 minion with a death rattle on it that reads, add a random legendary minion to your hand.
Right, so not to the board. You still have to play them.
Right, still. Like, that's awesome. It's so good.
It's awesome, but I don't think it's very good. I think it's, again, like, some people are looking at this card like it's OP as hell, but I think relying on random legendaries is usually not a winning strategy in Hearthstone.
Well, Prince Malchezaar, right? Like, nobody played him hardly.
Yeah, but
when you see Prince Malchezaar, you get very excited. This is cool though because this is a super fun legendary that has some potential to like just win you a game, but isn't totally broken, right? Like I'm glad they didn't print Dr. Boom version 2 here. They printed something much more fair. Fair.
and
I mean, like we mentioned when we were talking about the new hero, is, you know, in the end, Frostlich Jaina is actually going to work really well with this card.
Right. That's what I was going to say. I think if your mage deck wants to go long, this card is great because it's going to put more things into your hand when you might be running out of things to do in your late game. But
synergize. As soon as I started saying sin, the only thing that was in my head was Sindragosa, and I was like, what the heck is the word I'm looking for?
Well, that was a missed opportunity because you should have said Syndragize.
Syndragize. Yeah, it's I think it's a very, very cool card, and I'm definitely going to be playing this in decks. Also, maybe there's like some sort of a dragon-y mage thing that you can do now that you have a few mage-specific dragons, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. Glacial Mysteries.
It'd probably be a wild deck, but you know.
Yeah. Glacial Mysteries is next. This is an 8-mana epic mage spell that reads, put one of each secret from your deck into the battlefield. Who am I?
Yeah, but there's no body tied to this.
Yeah, you don't get a 6/6.
Yeah, and you need to have like 3 secrets to get any discount on the cost, right? So, plus you're taking probably your whole turn just to play secrets.
And you're taking most of your game to even be able to cast this, where you run the risk of drawing a bunch of secrets before you even have 8 mana.
Yeah, so I don't know about this one.
Yeah, it might be fun as a one-of in a heavy secret deck, though. Because if you pay 8 mana and you cast 5 mage secrets that all cost 3 each, you gave yourself a 7 mana discount, right? So.
But then is this like I feel like then you're probably not going to run like the little 2/3 that pulls a secret from your deck, and like I feel like that's better.
No, you probably still would. Early. I think because you're just going to run tons and tons of secrets. You know what I mean? You're just going to run all the secrets. That's the thing. Now the thing I found with secret mage decks though is, and again, like I don't think this is actually going to be a card that's played in a secret mage deck. But the thing about them is that you actually don't want most of those secrets. There's only like 4 that are actually pretty good. So, you know, unless we haven't seen a new secret yet for mages. So unless they give us a new really cool secret, this is probably just going to be a fun card. It's going to be a meme card most of the time.
Chat room is actually mentioning that if you glyph into this, then it's really good because that makes it 6. And I'm kind of wondering if, because glyph is a thing, if they're kind of overcosting mage spells a little bit now. Because
do we even have any other mage spells besides this one?
No, not yet.
This is the only one. Yeah, so far. There's got to be more. But.
Not yet, but we've also already seen, I mean, we're looking at 6 mage cards right here, plus the hero card. So there's not that many more mage cards to even reveal. But to that point, Jocelyn, I say They better. They better be starting to overcost mage spells because I'm so sick and tired of Glyph. But yeah, no.
They could just make Glyph what it's supposed to be, right? Which is 1 less or 0 less.
Or reveal
Fine.
the damn card that you.
And then they can put out the cards the way they want to. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. More on that later when we don't have a million things to talk about. Doomed Apprentice is up next. It's a 3-mana, 3/2 rare mage minion that reads your opponent's spells cost 1 more.
It's a weird thing to put into mage. I don't know. It's like, again, it's a totally fair card. It's not going to be super good unless you're playing a really minion heavy deck and you're trying to protect your minions. But then if you're playing a minion heavy deck, you probably don't want to play 3-mana 3/2s. So yeah, I don't know. Weird card.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't like Doomed Apprentice all that much. I like the flavor. I like the remix on an existing Hearthstone card that's been around forever. Although I think she should maybe be high-fiving like Lotheb in the corner or something. That'd be kind of cool.
I feel like if very, very spell heavy decks end up being super popular, this could be a tech card that might help Mage, but does Mage really need any help?
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you don't want to play the 6-mana 5/5 because that affects your spells, then maybe this is the answer. But again, it's like, I don't know. I feel like if you're playing a minion heavy Mage deck, you're playing minions that help your spells, not mess your opponent's spells up. And there's not going to be enough. Like, what then you queue into, a mid-range paladin that's never casting a spell in the first damn place, and you got a useless 3-mana 3/2. I don't see it.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
All right, Ghastly Conjurer is next. A 4-mana 2/6 rare minion for mages with a battle cry that reads, add a mirror image spell to your hand.
This is a Quest Mage Central right here. Gives you a decent body and a really cheap spell that's not originally from your deck. So and it delays, which is what Quest Mage wants to do, right? So seems pretty good there. I think that's where it'll go.
I agree.
I think it's fun. I kind of dig this one.
And it'll be okay in Arena because a 4-mana 2/6 isn't great, but you get a spell that you can cast, so it'll be fine there too.
Gives you a little bit of gas, if you could call mirror images gas, but
well, they protect your 2/6, right?
Yeah, and buff your mana worm if you have one out.
Sure. I mean, it's fair. This card is fair. It shouldn't be a 3/6. There's no way. And and it's got a purpose. It's got a place.
Yep.
I like it.
On to Ice Walker, a 2-mana 1/3 rare elemental minion that reads, your hero power also freezes the target.
Probably not going to see much play, to be honest. I've heard people talking about how it's going to be able to stall your opponent's turn, but in the early game, if you're spending 2 mana pinging minions and freezing them, you're stalling your own turns too. So, because you'd probably rather be developing or doing something that matters. It's going to matter more in the late game when you're freezing big minions that you don't want to hit your face. But yeah, I don't know. I don't want to pay 2 mana for a 1/3. I just don't want to. You can't make me, Blizzard.
I don't want to. But you pair it with our next card, Cold Wraith, and you draw a card, man.
Not on turn 3, you wouldn't.
Yeah, I was going to say, you'd have to go turn 4, Ice Walker ping, and then turn 5, Cold Wraith ping.
No. Turn 5, you spend 5 mana, you play a 1/3, you play a 3/4, you freeze a target and draw a card. Come on, that's amazing.
Wait. Turn 5, you have 7 mana suddenly? How did this happen? No. You have to play the 1/3, then you have to ping something.
No, that's right. So, sorry, I forgot about the hero
part.
Forgot about the hero power part.
You get the powerhouse turn of playing a 1/3 and a 3/4, drawing a card.
My bad.
And then you just win from there, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But again, fair. Fair is like what I'm seeing with everything here, which is good. That's what we want. I don't want OP, I want fair.
Is it fair when you don't want to play it, though, Dills?
But sometimes, okay. But what's happened since Standard came along, a bunch of cards left? Suddenly cards that were never going to see play are now like cards because you just don't have any other option there, right? So some of these cards will just see play. They're just not going to be broken, right? And that's good. Because they're just going to be your best option there, right? So
yeah.
But I think if you want a 3-mana, are we talking Cold Wraith right now?
We can move to it. I haven't mentioned it for the audio listeners. It's a 3-mana 3/4 common minion with a battle cry that reads, if an enemy is frozen, draw a card. There we go.
Yeah. So again, like if I want a 3-mana card that's drawing me cards, I probably still want Acolyte of Pain, right? So like that's kind of the thing. It's like these cards have to live in a world where there's not a better option for what they're doing. But if you have a minion based deck rather than say like Freeze Mage, which is just trying to draw as many cards as it can, and you have a bunch of freeze effects, then there's a spot for it, and then it's a fair card, right? So that's kind of my point. It's like these cards aren't really broken, but they don't necessarily belong just yet to what Mage is doing, right? So Mage is going to have to do something different, and then they'll be okay.
Yep. All right, moving on to Paladin, which mercifully we've only seen 4 cards. First up is their legendary minion, Bolvar Fireblood. This is a 5-mana 1/7 with Divine Shield that also reads, after a friendly minion loses Divine Shield, gain +2 attack. So Bolvar is back, and he's as questionable as ever.
I love the art on this card. I love the lore feel of it. Once it loses its Divine Shield, it has the same stats as the other Bolvar. Makes me happy. The soul of this card is there.
I mean, yeah, you could consider it in most cases a 3/7 because its own Divine Shield will work on it. And if you're looking for a minion that's going to live so you can Spike Ridge Steed it, this is a pretty good option. 1/7 with Divine Shield is pretty hard to get rid of. So, there's something here. It's not, again, it's like not super busted.
It's fair.
It's fair. Oh my God. Wow. They did it again.
I think there could be something, and it might possibly be in Wild, but I think there could be something for like a bubble dude pally deck with the light, what is it? Light steed, light whatever, the thing that adapts to your Silverhand recruits.
The Stegadon?
Stegadon, yeah. Light fused Stegadon, yeah.
Sure, maybe. I mean, I don't think that this creates a bubble paladin archetype. I don't think any of the cards that we've seen so far create a bubble paladin type. But some of them work okay just as paladin cards within a paladin deck, right? Just a mid-range deck. And I think this card could be fine. I mean, it's a legendary, so it can only be a 1/of, so it's not like it's taking up a bunch of slots. Yeah, it's like, what else do you really play on 5 in Paladin right now? I think it's fine.
The adapt your Murlocs guy.
But he's a 4-drop, right? So this you slot this guy in between your Stegadon turn. Yeah. I think it's there. It could be there.
Okay. All right. You're selling
even
me.
Without a whole bunch of other Divine Shieldy dudes. Just this guy on his own, just as a dude who lives that allows you to put Kings or Stegadon on him. Not bad.
All right. You're selling me. You're selling me on Bolvar a little more. Now, this doesn't work like old Bolvar, right? This doesn't happen if he's not already on board, does it?
No, he has to be on the board, okay. Yeah. He's a 1/7 all the time in your deck in hand. And then, but here's the other thing. I think hand buff Paladin might be coming back. It might be hand buff's time to shine.
I want it to be.
And this card, if it comes out as a 2/8 or a 3/9 or a 4/10.
If you add any other stats on top of this, it's already scary.
Sure.
Yeah. No, I like it. I just don't bet too much on it because if there's any type of transform effect, it's screwed. But
yeah, it's better than the other Bolvar. I'll say that.
Yeah. Light Sorrow is next. This is a 4-mana, 1 attack, 4 durability epic paladin weapon that reads, after a friendly minion loses Divine Shield, gain +1 attack. Noticing a pattern with the theme here.
Yeah. It doesn't remove the bubbles on its own, by the way, because it was a little confusing when they showed the animation because it looked like they played it and then they just all went away. But I think what did they do? They played this in like Blood Knight or something to remove them all?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, yeah. This has to at least get to a 3/4 to even be playable, right? So you're going to have to at least get 2 bubbles to bust with it. And you have to play it first. So you have to have 2 bubbles.
With 4 durability, you think that it has to have 3 attack?
There's already 4-mana 2/4 weapons out there that never see play. Right? So, yeah, I don't know. I don't think a 2/4 is going to be enough. A 2/4 weapon with 4-mana 8 damage over 4 turns. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I guess the thing that makes oh my God, why am I the Paladin weapon 8 charges? It's the Wind Fury thing. It is what makes that good.
The Shaman weapon?
Shaman weapon?
Doomhammer. Oh my God, yeah, Doomhammer.
Just that little weapon nobody ever knows about, Doomhammer.
I know. I don't know why I'm blanking on card names so bad today.
That's all right. I do it all the time.
But yeah, what makes that good is the Wind Fury part, right? Because this is kind of like a half a Doomhammer.
Well, okay, but think about Assassin's Blade.
Yeah.
Assassin's Blade and Rogue is a 3/4 for 5. So if you can get a 3/4 weapon for 4, that's probably playable. Assassin's Blade doesn't ever see play. If you can get 4/4, obviously, holy crap, totally broken. But I don't know. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to get that to happen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is that it can continue to get better, right? Like, if you play this on 4 into Bolvar, like, you don't necessarily have to attack with it, and it's not like a battle cry saying for every minion with Divine Shield, get a thing. It's like you can keep playing Divine Shield minions and keep making your weapon grow. So
you absolutely can.
I think I might try it just to see how
I wouldn't mind giving it a shot. I don't think I think it's it's like an effect that could have been totally busted if they went a little farther. So they have it in the right spot.
I just think the four durability means it's probably going to stick around for a while unless they have weapon removal. So I think that could be good.
Do I play 2 4-mana weapons in my Paladin deck, or do I just play True Silver Champion?
True Silver is just pretty freaking good.
I probably just play True Silver Champion.
True Silver is the big.
They should have made it cost something different, right? And then you have options.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll see. Howling Commander. 3 mana, 2/2, rare Paladin minion with a battle cry that reads, draw a Divine Shield minion from your deck.
So draw your Tyrion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your Bolvar.
Or your Bolvar, or your Wicker Flame Burn Bristle.
Yep.
I don't even think again, like, I don't think this card goes into a bubble pally. It just goes into my pally where I just want to get my Tyrion, right? So... Sure. I just put one of these in there, and I get like 2 shots of Tyrion now. I'm down.
Seems pretty good.
Yeah, I like this. I like Howling Commander. Obviously, it's not an auto-pick in Arena. You're going to need to make sure you get some Divine Shield minions, because otherwise you're overpaying for a 2/2. But
sure.
I like
Raven brings up a good point in the chat. Or you can get your sweet new 1-mana 1/1 with Taunt Divine Shield.
Yeah, your righteous defender, which we haven't mentioned yet, the 1-mana 1/1 common minion with taunt and Divine Shield for Paladins.
Cool.
That'd be
this is a good
up
arena card.
Howling Commander.
Because, it's got Taunt. Argent Squire with Taunt. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's fine. It's a perfect, this is a solid 1-drop.
Yeah. Totally. And, I mean, later on in the game, it's going to be annoying as hell if you can put it up in front of something else that they want to kill. And now they're like, damn, I got to invest 2 swings into this thing?
Or it's really good to pair with on turn 7 with your Steed.
Yeah.
There you go. It's a great Steed target.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And it's so cheap, it's going to be super easy to get it on the board, right?
Sure. I don't know if it's going to take up a slot in constructed decks unless you are trying to do Bubble Pally stuff, but...
Oh, I'm going to do Bubble Pally stuff.
Yeah, but the people are going to do Bubble Pally stuff, let's be honest. It's going to help you get that quest done so much faster when it pops.
It's going to buff the living crap out of your Light Sorrow. Just watch. It's going to be so good. All right, let's keep on trucking. Priest is up next, kicking it off with an insane legendary. Archbishop Benedictus. This is a 7-mana 4/6 with a battle cry that reads, shuffle a copy of your opponent's deck into your deck.
Yep.
How do you even evaluate this?
You don't. Embrace Darkness
is
next.
You do. It's a crappy card. It's a bad card. But that's not why it's here. It's here for the memes. And I'm down. This is a great milkshake card, so I'm going to play the hell out of it. It's going directly into my milkshake decks right away.
So the problem with it is that you are basically watering your deck down with your opponent's deck, so you can't do either thing, the thing that you're trying to do or the thing that they're trying to do effectively, right?
No, the real problem with it is a 7-mana 4/6 that does nothing to the board the turn you play it, other than be a 7-mana 4/6, right? Like, it doesn't draw the cards into your hand. But also, like, what you say is totally valid. Like, let's say you're playing against a Jade Druid. They're already at like 5/5s on their Jades, right? And then you're like, yeah, I got all your Jade cards. Here comes Jade Spirit. Oh, it's just a 1/1 because I'm way behind. It's turn 7, and you've already done Jade stuff. Or let's say you're playing against an aggro deck, and then you're a priest and you're drawing aggro cards, and that's not that good for you. So. Yeah, you're right too, but also just the fact that it's 7-mana 4/6, it doesn't actually draw cards or do anything. Yeah, it's just for the memes.
So
Here for
what
the
if it said, steal your opponent's deck, and then they went to insta-fatigue?
Oh, God. Well, now you got something.
It wouldn't. It just wouldn't. That's never going to get made.
Yeah. It's a super fun card, though, and I'm glad it's here. I like it.
I'm blindly putting this in my Wild Reno Priest deck. It's just going in. I don't care.
Sure. Just, for the hell of it, right? Yeah. It is going to be really fun when you play against another priest who's also playing this, and then you just keep going back and forth, reloading your decks and like never running out of cards. Yeah.
Then you actually hit the turn timer. It's at 90 turns or something.
Yeah, 90 turns. I think it's 50 on one side or whatever. Once somebody gets to 50, yeah,
it's gonna be fun.
And that's it.
It's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to
both
that.
Blow up.
All right, let's move on and talk about Embrace Darkness, a 6-mana epic priest spell that reads, choose an enemy minion at the start of your turn. Take control of it.
So like a delayed mind control?
Yep.
Yeah. This is just worse than Entomb. I don't know. This is going to be hard. It's going to be hard to play. Your opponent will get a turn to kind of do something with the card or try to kill off their own card or something like that. So, yeah, and it's expensive too. 6 mana. If this was maybe like 5 mana or something, it might possibly be a thing, but yeah, it's so slow and it's hard.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's Priest. I think you will be able to find a turn to play this.
Depending. In a control mirror, yes. Against an aggro deck, this is never going to do anything. It's going to be a dead card, right? So
yeah, I agree with that, but I think in control matchups, I think you'll be able to find a place to play Embrace Darkness. I'm not saying it's going immediately.
And it
in
is
my deck,
true that you could deal with 4 attack minions all of a sudden somehow. Oh yeah, Raven saying in chat, Primordial Drake. There you go. And that's a card that's around. So sure. But
maybe a 1-of then if you're going really controlling.
You never played 2 of these. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if it lets me deal with 4 attack minions as a priest, it has my interest.
Yeah. The problem is, like, let's say you play this, and then you have stuff on the board. Then they take their Primordial Drake, and then they're like, okay, well, I get 1 more trade with it, so I still killed another one of your cards, so I kind of still 2-for-1 you, and the Drake is now, a 4/4 instead of a 4/8. And
you're a priest,
Primordial
you do
Drake
have
probably already killed other stuff, so it's like
you do have the ability to heal it, though.
That's true. When you get it back, you'll be able to heal it. Yes, but I don't know. It's still like you're spending a lot of mana and cards to do that. I don't know if that's going to be like a winning play. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, fair enough. I think it's worth at least experimenting with. Also, I figured you, as the fan of playing priest decks that just takes everything from the opponent, you were contractually obligated to like this card.
Oh yeah. But no, this goes as a 1-of into my milkshake deck, which definitely is it's missing some pieces. So here you go. We're actually getting to the point now where it's hard to put all of these cards in pretty soon. Well, it's going to get there's a couple more milkshake cards that we haven't even seen yet.
It's going to get even harder because Dills, what if I told you about Devour Mind, a 5-mana rare priest spell that reads copy 3 cards in your opponent's deck and add them to your hand.
Yeah. So Dot Steel Plus. All right. I'm with it. I'm definitely playing this in my milkshake deck too. I don't know if you play this in other decks. Like Nourish is really good because it draws you through your particular deck, right? So you pay 5 mana to draw 3 cards. Dot Steel doesn't really see much play anymore. There's just kind of like better stuff for priests to do. So this probably doesn't see much play either, but there's a world where maybe, you play super slow control priest in like a tournament meta and you just are super annoying because you just have way more cards than they do. So,
yep. And then there's another world, and it's called Arena, and I'm taking Devour Mind in it.
Sure, absolutely. It's a lot of mana to spend on a turn not doing anything, and like Druid kind of gets away with it because they choose one, or like they're actually just going into their deck. But it's hard to pay 5 mana on a turn just to draw 3, especially when they're 3 random cards from your opponent, and they could do nothing for you. So. Milkshake card again.
Last priest card for today, Eternal Servitude. This is a 4-mana rare priest spell that reads, discover a friendly minion that died this game, summon it.
Hell
yes. I want 4 of these cards, 6 of these cards in my deck.
Yeah, I love this card. I kind of made a card similar to this when I was on Value Town, Value Town. Is that what I was on? Yeah, I think so. When we were coming up with cards, right? And I made a 4-mana priest card that said discover a minion from your opponent's deck, which was kind of like Mind Games or whatever the card is now, but just better because you actually get to pick one. And this is along the same lines, but I think even better because you can kind of guide it, right? Now it's going to also be opponent minions that have died, but it's just a minion that died.
It's friendly.
Oh no,
minions.
sorry, it's friendly
Yeah,
minions.
it's
You're
friendly
right.
minions.
You're right. Yeah. I was thinking of the other card again in my head. But yeah, so you can target this, right? So obviously on turn 4 you can be bringing back Injured Blade Masters. Or other Death Rattle minions to make your Quest Priest better.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm just in love with this card. I think it's wonderful. This should have happened forever ago when they were trying to make Res Priest a thing. Bring it on. Onwards and upwards to Rogue is next. Only 3 Rogue cards we're going to talk about today. We're going to be kicking it off with Runeforge Haunter, a 4-mana 5/3 rare minion that reads during your turn, your weapon doesn't lose durability.
Seems like it could be okay, maybe?
Yeah. Like Shadow Blade is going to be, a card you can play on 3. So if you can then play this on 4, you get like a free swing, right? So,
Shadow Blade, which we haven't talked about yet. It's a 3-mana, 3 attack, 2 durability rogue weapon. The battle cry on it is that your hero is immune this turn. The
problem is you have to play a 4-mana 5/3, and that's that's I don't know. You're going to have to get value out of it. So. Yeah.
Well, but I mean, Shadowblade, and I might as well talk about them together. Shadowblade is really good for Rogue, right? Because that's one of their biggest problems is just health total. They're always swinging into stuff, and then they can almost just kill themselves. So the fact that you get to be immune, the more swings of this weapon that you get, the better it is, right? So
we only get to be immune that first swing because it's a battle cry effect.
Oh, right.
So you're not immune every time you swing with it.
Right.
Yeah. But
damn, never mind.
Getting an extra swing with a 3-mana...
Just them both. They're dead to me.
It's turning it into a 3-mana 3/3 weapon, essentially. But
yeah.
you're paying a little bit of a price by paying a 4-mana 5/3. So
right, and you're only immune that first turn. It's not like you're immune for the entire time that Shadow Blade is equipped.
Yeah.
But it's something, right? It is in that wheelhouse that you're talking about, Jocelyn. Is starting to fill in a weakness in Rogue, which is using your face and your health to remove things. And also the last Rogue card we're going to talk about today, which was written as Leeching Poison. I'm hearing from chat room that's actually called Poisonous Weapons. I'm working with what is on fan sites, but whatever the case it's called, it's a 2-mana rogue spell that gives your weapon lifesteal. So now all of a sudden you're immune one turn, and also anytime you're dealing damage with your weapon, you're going to be gaining that much life back.
Yeah.
I need to see more rogue
unfortunately, that
cards.
card is just hot garbage, but
I need to see more rogue cards.
Or I mean, it should be give your weapon +1 and lifesteal, right? It's just not good enough here as this. Like you have to pair it with a weapon. So
as opposed to just the hero power?
Yeah, because if it's your dagger, you're healing for 2? That's not good.
Yeah.
2-mana heal for 2? I don't know about that. So yeah. We'll have to, there's still a lot of cards that we haven't seen in Rogue, so this Leeching Poison card, which I guess isn't called something else, could be really good with some other stuff that we haven't seen yet. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's true. We haven't seen either one of the Rogue Legendaries. We haven't seen either one of the Epics. So there's still a lot to come for Rogue. So
yeah, you could pair it with Deadly Poison, but now you're spending 2 cards and 5 mana to make a 3-attack weapon that it swings twice and heals you for 6. It's not really good. I don't think so. I don't know. I need to see more cards. I'm already running away with possibilities of like a pirate rogue in Wild, maybe, or maybe not even in Wild, but some weapon buffing pirate cards in Rogue on top of keeping myself alive through things like Shadowblade and whatever the hell this spell is called that gives me lifesteal. Yeah. These are kind of underwhelming Rogue cards so far. I think Shadowblade is the best that we've seen. But there's lots more to come. So,
I need to see.
There's probably some good stuff in there.
Yeah, need to see more. Let's talk about Shaman cards, starting off with their legendary minion, Murabi, a 6-mana 4/4 that reads, whenever another minion is frozen, add a copy of it to your hand.
Yeah. So we have this card that's 6 mana 4/4 that every time you cast a spell, you draw a card. Draw a card from your deck, and you play cheap spells and stuff like that. Here we got a 6 mana 4/4. I gotta freeze something, and then it's just a minion, and I'm not even. I don't know.
This card lives and dies on free shaman being a thing.
Yes.
If free shaman is a thing, you put this in, right? Sure.
Right.
Well, you can get free like Voodoo Hexer swings and stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can go, and even then, even Voodoo Hexer doesn't necessarily have to swing, right? If your opponent, if your opponent runs any minions into the Hexer, they're still going to be frozen when you play Murabi on turn 6, and then you get copies of your opponent's minions. So
no, they have to get frozen while Murabi's on the board. Like if they're already frozen, you play Murabi. I don't think because it says whenever another minion is frozen, right? So it doesn't say like if a minion is frozen.
Yeah, so you're right then. Hexer
but you're still like if you play Voodoo Hexer on 5, he'll probably be alive for turn 6 because he's a 2/7, and you'll get at least 1 minion out of it, right? So it's not hot garbage. It's just like I think it's it's very fair because you're paying a big price, right? Mm-hmm. But it's kind of along the lines of like what's the dude, Mist Caller. Like,
yes, yeah.
He looked like he could potentially be OP as hell, but then he just wasn't. So,
right. And this is again, it's betting on an archetype that doesn't currently exist becoming a thing when we get new cards. So who knows?
Yeah.
It's
although I will say, like him plus Voodoo Hexer plus Icebreaker, you're starting to see something that could potentially happen. So
yes.
We got 5 cards we haven't seen yet for Shaman, so there could be even more freeze effects.
Yeah, there's room in there. There's room in there for them to sell me on this. Anyway, continuing down the Shaman line, Cryostasis is a 2-mana epic Shaman spell. It reads, give a minion +3/+3 and freeze it. So you see Murabi, you start thinking about freezing your own minions. It's cute. It's something I want to try. Don't know if it's going to pan out.
Yeah. You probably don't want to be freezing your own minions and taking away their ability to attack. You probably don't want to be buffing your opponent's minions. But it's a cool idea. I love the design of this because it's a very cool concept of you got a decision to make here. Is it worth it to buff your opponent's minion to also give it a freeze for pretty cheap? Is it worth it to freeze your own guy to give it a cool buff that's pretty cheap, right? So there's interesting tactical decisions to make, but probably not good.
Well, you could cryostasis your Voodoo Hexer and just make it even bigger and harder to deal with. And
sure, they use a 5/10.
Yep.
Also freezes other stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. Personally, sure. I can't wait to freeze my opponent's minion, give it 3 more attack, and then hit it with Icebreaker to destroy it. Take even more damage than I need to.
Yeah, take more damage.
I can't wait. And then Voodoo Hexer.
You're gonna bring back Big Game Hunter. You're gonna freeze them and then you're gonna BGH them.
Rakamar in the chat room is asking if you play a minion and immediately freeze it, is it unfrozen on your next turn? It's not. Brode confirmed on Twitter. I think the way that freezing works is basically freeze stands for miss 1 attack. So if you freeze a sleeping minion, then you're not skipping any attacks, so it will still be frozen on your next turn.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Voodoo Hexer is the last Shaman card we need to mention. We've already talked about it a little bit, but for those out there who don't know what it is a 5-mana 2/7 rare Shaman minion with taunt, and it also reads, freeze any character damaged by this minion.
I like it.
Yeah, I like Voodoo Hexer.
Yeah.
It's, as Dills has been saying all show long, it's fair. This is a fair card.
Yeah, and this card is just good whether you're playing free Shaman or not, honestly. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's 2/7 taunt that just stalls, So I think you'll see it a lot in Arena, too. It is a rare, so it's not like it's going to come up all the time, but it's definitely going to be a heavy pick there.
Yep. Okay, on to Warrior. Haven't seen their legendary minion yet, I don't think, unless it was covered and I forgot that it was revealed, right? No?
No, we haven't seen the hero or the legendary minion.
Rad. All right, so we're just kicking things off with some epics. First up is Dead Man's Hand. This is a 2-mana epic warrior spell that reads, shuffle a copy of your hand into your deck. So this is fine, because you're going to be putting cards back into your deck that already synergize with what you're trying to do.
I think so. I think it's good for a control warrior, for sure. I don't think you do it on turn 2.
No, yeah. The problem is that, again, you're spending 2 mana to not draw a card. You're spending 2 mana to just make your deck bigger. And I don't think you probably do that very often. I'm not sold on this card. I think it's pretty bad. It's yeah.
Even as a one-of, just to give yourself a little bit more gas, because
that's only going to be good in games that are going to go to fatigue, right? So, and that's, again, it's like on ladder, that's not going to happen often enough for this to really matter, but to take up a card slot. So a tournament meta possibly.
I was going to say for tournaments more so than ladder, because again, it depends what kind of decks you're going up against, and if everyone is super aggro, then yeah, I agree. But if you're, if you're playing in a tournament meta, then I think that this could totally be a one-of.
Yeah, if there is like a viable mill warrior thing again, then totally, because now you just never mill and they do, right? So and also you can get important mill type cards back if you time this right, but that has to be a thing first before this card is actually at all good. Like, you don't want, historically you don't want to spend 2 mana to do nothing that turn, right? You want to be doing something active.
Yeah,
and this card does nothing active.
I think this is where you consider it. I think if you're playing Control Warrior, there will be enough games going to Mulligan, or oh my god, my brain just died. Too much rapping. If it goes to fatigue, then this is a cool card. But
yeah, but like, think about the other like super anti-fatigue card, Jade Idol. Jade Idol, you spend 1 mana to shuffle 3 more of them in very specific late game situations. Then you play, Gadget Day and Auctioneer and start drawing them all out of your deck, and then all of a sudden they turn into make giant dudes,
right?
Like later on, right? Like, that's just like so much better as an anti-fatigue mechanism than this is. So yeah, again, like, if there is a fatigue warrior that is viable and is a thing, like, this is a card that's going to help make that go for sure. But that first has to be a deck. I don't think you just put this into like just a control warrior, Yeah.
All right, Bring It On is next. This is another 2-mana epic warrior spell that reads, gain 10 armor, reduce the cost of minions in your opponent's hand by 2.
It's pretty cool. It's very cool. It's good. It's going to help you live against aggro. It's going to help you live against mages. You could time it right so that they don't have a lot of cards anymore when you play it. Probably don't run doubles though, right? But
yeah, this is
single one can be very helpful.
Yeah, it can be in an aggro matchup, but it's like, I don't know. I guess on ladder you see enough aggro to make it worth it. But if it's one,
what you do is you don't play it like on turn 2, right? Like, you wait until the turn when they've already played a bunch of stuff out, their hand is kind of empty, and you just need to not die the next turn, and you can stabilize, and then suddenly you've gained 10 and still did stuff, right? So.
Well, and I mean, I think that's kind of why in a super, super aggro meta, you might actually want 2 of these, because then you're going to gain 20 health. There's not a whole lot of aggro decks that can deal 50 damage. A lot of them are built around dealing 30 as fast as possible, and they can be disrupted by, a taunt or 2. So I think, like 20 health is going to make you basically unkillable to some of those decks.
Yeah.
You're also going to enable sick shield slams against control decks.
6 shield slams and 6 brawls.
Yep. Your opponent's going to have to decide the next turn, like, well, are they baiting me right now?
Exactly. I could play my whole hand, should I?
Yeah. So it's I love the idea of, again, a very strategic style card. So definitely you're going to see this get played. It's just a question of how good is it and what's the meta like, right?
I like it. I like it. I mean, I would pay more mana to gain 10 armor without that drawback. So why not give me the decision to make of how early do I pull this trigger? Mountain Fire Armor is next up. This is a 3-mana 4/3 rare warrior minion with a death rattle that reads, if it's your opponent's turn, Yeah, if it's your opponent's turn, gain 6 armor.
So basically, if your opponent kills that minion, then you get armor.
Yeah, it's like having a secret almost on a minion, because secrets only trigger on your opponent's turn.
Right.
It's weird.
This is a brain like warper in the world of Hearthstone. We haven't seen anything like this on a minion.
Yeah, it's statted aggressively, so it seems like you wouldn't want to play this in any type of a control style deck. You'd probably want this to be a minion that's hitting face. Obviously, you hit face because you want it to get the death rattle, so you never trade with it. But then you're not really doing like an aggro thing. I get, and like I've heard people say, "Oh, it's really good in like an aggro mirror," but I don't know.
It's not wrong.
I think
they're not wrong.
Yeah, but also like I don't know, man. I just want to play a frothing berserker, and not this. I just want to play a bloodsail cultist, right, and buff my weapon. I don't really want to play a 3-mana 4/3 that maybe gives me some life back. Yeah.
Well, the only way it's not going to give you life back is if they transform it. I mean, if it doesn't give you life back and they don't transform it, means you screwed up.
Yeah. You're gonna go face with it, but sometimes you might have to make a trade, right? Like sometimes there's a situation where the thing that you got to kill is like more important than getting the 4 damage in and getting the 6 health later.
Yeah, but
so
it's
the
also
minion is actually.
I think there's an argument there though for a trade that you would otherwise have not been able to make, because if any other minion was on the board, they would have just killed that minion, but they let this one live because of its death rattle effect. And even though you miss out on the death rattle, you get a trade that you otherwise couldn't have had.
Yeah, your opponents are going to kill it, though. Like, they just will. They'll give you the 6 health. So, I mean, in that case, yeah, obviously, like, getting a free 6 health for only 3 mana is not bad, but there has to be room in the 3 spot, right? That's my real issue with it. Like, this has to be better than another option in the 3 drop spot. And that I'm not convinced of yet.
Yeah, Berserker is just so powerful.
Sure.
Well, while we're talking about the 3 drop spot, Valkyr Soul Claimer, 3 mana 1/4 rare warrior minion that reads, whenever this minion survives damage, summon a 2/2 ghoul.
All right. Well, we've got some new whirlwind effects out there, right? So we've got ways to trigger this ourselves.
Right. Last week we talked about the new warrior weapon Blood Razor, right? So that was the deal 1 damage to everything on Battlecry and Death Rattle. So
there's 2 more right there.
Yeah, that does pair really well with this card.
There's also the next card we're going to talk about, Animated Berserker, which if you play that before this, then you're getting. So there's ways to proc it. Again, it's like the deck that this goes into. This has to be better than whatever else goes in the 3 spot, right? That's always like the key to these cards. Like, but just on its own, it is a card that can potentially snowball into some pretty gross stuff, like lots and lots of little 2/2s. You can. What's the card where you deal 1 damage and then summon a 2/2 if it lives? Chat knows, but you can make 2 2/2s, right?
Yeah,
2 2/2s.
Yeah,
2 2/2s.
Yeah,
and that's a free 2/2.
You're gonna need some targeted ping damage as well, because if you're just doing
Blood to Ichor.
Thanks, Raven.
Thank you, Raven.
Yes. Blood to Ichor. So there you go. I mean, there's combos here.
Right, and you're going to need some of that targeted 1 damage pings, because if you're just doing it with whirlwind effects, at the most you're ever going to have are two ghouls on board, because you're going to be killing your own ghouls if you whirlwind a third time.
If you keep whirlwinding, eventually your ghouls die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But hey, you're also, I mean, in this deck, if you're making extra little 2/2 bros and then whirlwinding them, they can be enabling battle rages and stuff. So
I think there might be there. Yeah, I think there might be some sort of enragey, whirlwindy warrior deck that's going to be viable after this.
Just need to see the rest of these cards, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Animated Berserker is the final warrior card we're going to talk about. This is a 1 mana 1/3 common warrior minion that reads, after you play a minion, deal 1 damage to it. Get that Valkyr Soul Claimer out there.
Yeah.
Sure. Get a patron out there in Wild. You get already, like the turn you play it, you get 1 extra patron. Then if you can get a whirlwind in after that, now you get 2 more patrons. So yeah, you can definitely do some cool stuff there. Unfortunately, patrons, when they don't get to charge anymore, are not nearly as strong, but are still very annoying. So there's stuff to do with this card too. This, again, we need to see the rest of these cards, because I think there's not enough yet, right? Like, I'm trying to think of all the enraged minions out there. There's not enough of them yet. But Acolyte of Pain, you get 1 draw right away. That's not bad.
Yeah, Grom gets enraged.
Sure. And you get a body instead of just wasting a whirlwind if that's what you did. So there's stuff.
And play 2 of these on turn 2 into your Soul Claimer, and then you get double ghouls.
Damn, son. Yeah, all right. All the 2/2s.
Yep.
All right, let's move on.
And then they just cast Consecration and you cry.
Yeah.
Oh, sad day. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about Warlock cards. Not a ton, so we're going to talk about 3 today. Gnome Feratu is up first. Best name.
I love this card.
Best art. Love it. This just wins. I don't care what it is, but you probably do. Let me tell you, it's a 2-mana, 2/3 epic Warlock minion that with a battle cry that reads, remove the top card of your opponent's deck.
I mean, basically, it's like 2-mana, 2/3 don't do anything, but make somebody feel real good or bad, but still not really do anything. You know what I mean? It's like that card could have just not been the top card of your deck. It could have been like the 30th card in your deck, and you still didn't really do anything. But it's a cool card, and I'm glad to start to see stuff like this. I want to see more things where you're messing with your opponent's strategy a little bit. I liked Dirty Rat. This is not quite as good as that, but also maybe it's not like a super downside, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's going to be a feel bad. I think it's just what it boils down to. But
yeah,
but it's like, is bad ? Like, is it actually bad? Because for all the reasons you just brought up, Dills.
Yeah, like this card itself isn't bad, but if you really think about it, you're not going to play a 2-mana 2/3 that doesn't do anything, right? So yeah, it's like 2-mana 2/3. Make your opponent feel bad. That's how, is that going to win you games?
It might. If you have a super tilty opponent.
Actually, yeah, Joce brings up a good point. If your opponent doesn't have the spirit to make it through getting their Tyrion burned, even though it's freaking turn 2, you might get some wins just for hurting their feelings too much.
Yeah, sometimes a Tyrion will peel off, and then they'll be like, "Oh my God, I'm not gonna draw my Tyrion." But the thing is, like, you could have also just never drawn your Tyrion, and it's like the same thing, right? Now you just knew that it was there, and now you're not gonna get it.
Mowgli in the chat room calls this Schrodinger's gnome, and I love it. You win. All points to Mowgli today. Oh, that's amazing. Yep. But yeah, it's fine. It's going to cause some salt, I think, is really just what this boils down to. Let's talk about card I was really excited to talk about because I'm just glad it's a thing. Defile made it into this expansion. This is a boss fight mechanic from Ice Crown. I bring up every chance I get. So it turned out to be a 2-mana rare Warlock spell that deals 1 damage to all minions. If any die, cast this again.
All right.
Yeah. So this
Rip
is
aggro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like this.
It's
so
a super
much.
cool design, yeah.
It's another one of the cast it again if you meet a condition cards, and I just love them. And this, you really have to, it's like a very skillful card because you have to figure out, because you're damaging all minions, right? So you have to keep in mind things that are happening on your side of the board and like how it's going to resolve the first time, and then after everything's been damaged, how's it going to resolve the second time? Is anything going to die? If it does, it's going to keep going. So you really have to pay attention with this card, and I love that they didn't just say deal 2 damage to all minions or something, you know, like that.
Well, it's very Defile-y.
Yeah,
right? Like this is how Defile kind of works, right? If someone's standing in it, it just keeps getting bigger. So this is kind of cool. I kind of imagine the Defile card as being like something that positioning mattered, but this just blew me out of the water with this design.
I think I mentioned that on the we did that IGN article a few weeks back, and I mentioned that, and I said in there, I'm like, I hope that's how Defile works, but I think it's going to be too slow to actually be good. So this is a version I think actually kind of works.
And your opponent's going to have to be really skillful, like not just you. So when you're playing against Warlock, they're going to be running this card. Like, to be honest, all Warlocks are going to be running this card.
What happens?
So you're going to have to pay attention to the health remaining on all your minions.
Dills, maybe you'll know this. What the hell happens with Dreadsteed in Defile?
So they changed the way Dreadsteed works because it would just be infinite. It would be an infinite loop. So Dreadsteed will now say at the end of your turn, this comes back. So it waits until everything has happened, all the stuff is done, someone's hit end turn, and then all the Dreadsteeds that died that turn will come back. Which a lot of people are like, oh my God, you ruined Dreadsteed. But honestly, the only time that really happened where it actually had an effect was when the other guy had a knife juggler on board and it was eating juggles, right? That's really the only time it actually mattered that it instantly came back. Outside of that is just it's gets a free ping every turn for you. And I played a lot of Dreadsteeds, so trust me, Dreadsteed is fine, you guys. Dreadsteed is not like now just completely dead card. Still gonna be a meme card that's only really gonna work in very weird decks, and even then, the deck's not gonna work. So it's whatever. I'm glad that they made Defile work rather than be like, oh well, we can't print Defile.
Deadsteed, yeah.
Way better.
All right. Well, okay. All right. I'm fine with it. I love Dreadsteed. It's one of my favorite cards in the history of Hearthstone, so I was a little concerned there.
It's just such an edge case when like it really matters that it instantly comes back. It's it's like Avenging Wraths and Knife Jugglers, and it just happens so rarely, right?
Yeah. Final Warlock card to talk about today. Sanguine? I've never known how to pronounce this correctly.
I always thought it was Sanguine, but I might be wrong.
All right, who knows? I say Sanguine. Reveler. This is a 1-mana 1/1. It's a common Warlock minion with a
Sanguini, you guys.
Damn it, Dills. It also has a battle cry on it that reads, destroy a friendly minion, gain +2/+2.
Yeah, kill them eggs.
Eggs.
Sure.
Going in my wild Warlock zoo, I guess, that I haven't played in forever, but it's happening.
Totally. It also gives you another thing where if you use Power Overwhelming on something, you get a little more value out of it at the end after you've gotten your sweet attack. Yeah, it's cool. Very cool card.
Yep.
I like it.
I like this card too. And anything that makes me play more eggs makes me really happy. Love egg cards.
And then you've also got the Pterodox, right? So you've got multiple ways to murder your own minions now, which is very cool. I like it.
Absolutely. All right, let's bring it home with many neutrals. Kicking it off with legendaries and epics. Only one new neutral legendary to talk about this week. Prince Valinar, the third and final of the three princes. He, as you may have guessed, is a 4-mana 4/4, given the cost and stats of the other two princes, with a battle cry that reads, if your deck has no 4-cost cards, gain Lifesteal and Taunt.
All right. Battle cry reads, make your deck crappy, play a minion that's not actually that great.
Yeah, I feel like this one has a really high cost for its benefits, right? Like, Lifesteal and Taunt, it's not really all that great to take all the 4-cost cards out of your deck.
Yeah. It should have had like a +1/+1 too or something. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, and I'm also Raven in the chat room saying I expected it to be something along the lines of if you have all 3 princes do X. That's another totally missed opportunity.
Well, maybe there could be another legendary that reads if you run all princes in your deck, do this.
Should have been Blood Queen Lanathel.
Right.
True.
Because she was their boss.
Yeah,
because they work closely together.
Yeah.
Whatever. They're just all crap. All the princes are crap. Like I said, there may be a spot for the 2/2/1 in Quest Hunter, and that's probably the only thing that's ever gonna maybe be a thing. And still, it probably won't be a thing.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird, man. Super weird. Or I don't know. Maybe you think we'll get like 5-mana cards that are like, if there's no 2, 3, or 4 drops, reduce the cost of this card by an amount that means you actually have a curve.
Yeah. Nope. Probably not.
Probably not. Yeah. It's there. You'd have to.
If they read like minions and not cards, then there might be something there because then you could just play spells in the 2, 3, and 4 spot, spells and weapons. But again, it's like I don't have any other 4-cost cards, and then this isn't like the 4. This isn't like a Reno.
It's not insane. Yeah,
doesn't
exactly.
win me the game, right? So, nope.
Super strange. I don't know. There's something about these though, right? Like I feel like I'm getting into a trap, but with my thinking of how terrible these cards are. Like I don't know. This is one of those things where I could just see something coming out of nowhere that none of us expected. And it's like, oh my god, nerf the princes, nerf them now. I don't know what it is, but
I love your faith, Garrett. I love your faith.
I don't know. It's just something.
Yeah, I bet like Mike Dene is gonna get #1 legends with all the princes in his deck, and he's gonna be like, "See, you guys just didn't understand."
There's something about this, man. It smells fishy to me. Anyway, moving on. Corpse Takers next. This is a 4-mana 3/3 Epic neutral minion with a battle cry that reads, gain taunt if your deck has a taunt minion. Repeat for Divine Shield, Lifesteal, Wind Fury. That's really cool.
It is.
It's very cool.
This is one of the few cards I saw like while I was on vacation. I was just like, whoa, there's so much text. Then I actually read it and I said, whoa again.
It's definitely not OP though. I think a lot of people instantly looked at it and thought, "Oh my god, this is totally broken." Good, but it's like, you know, think about it, it's like in a Paladin deck you could play just Tyrion and Wickerflame, Burn Bristle, and boom, this guy's
the only thing you miss out on is Wind Fury, and that's fine.
Yeah. And in Shaman you can play just Alakir, and you've mostly got him there, and it's just a pretty decent minion. But it's not OP. It's just you know, it's good. It'll be good in those types of decks. But you probably don't want to play it in other classes where you have to fill your deck with pretty bad minions to get this minion to be above average when you play it, right?
No, I think you're right. I think it's really good in Pally because they have Divine Shield and Taunt kind of almost naturally.
Kind of built in.
Yeah, who doesn't play Tyrion? Like, even aggro decks play Tyrion, so...
Raven brings up the important point, which is also what keeps this card totally in line, is that if you draw Alakir, suddenly you've just got a 4-mana 3/3.
Yeah.
I didn't think that needed to be specified because it says deck in the card text, but yeah.
But some people might not realize that. It's important to note. It's not like a deck building choice. It has to be still in your deck.
Right.
It is a deck building choice, but yeah.
Which is another knock against trying to do something cute where you put in a bunch of different minions that have all of these things. It's like, well, you're probably going to draw some of those.
Yeah. Yep.
But
and then the problem, like Alakir, is like, it's only a one of, so at least in Paladin you've got like the backup plan of if you draw Tyrion, you probably still have Wickerflame, Burn Bristle in there. If you draw him, you probably still have Tyrion. You know.
Right. So I still think it's a really cool card, and I like how they're not shying away from putting the Hearthstone equivalent of books on the card text this expansion.
Yeah, and coming up with really neat concepts too. It's a really cool idea. And again, it's like, it's a fair card. Like, you look at it and you go, oh my god, that's busted, holy crap. But then you have to think, how often is it really going to be a taunt, Divine Shield, Lifesteal, Wind Fury minion?
And even when it is,
it's hard.
You're getting no value from it the turn that you play it.
It doesn't have charge.
It doesn't have charge, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't get that from Alakir. Alakir goes, nope, you can't have that.
Yep.
But moving on, Meat Wagon's next. 4-mana, 1/4 epic mech minion with a death rattle that reads, summon a minion from your deck with less attack than this minion.
So this is the one that could pair well with things like eggs. or totems and shaman.
Or totems and shaman, or hand buffs.
Yeah.
I kind of see this more as like a hand buffy type card, because then you can get other cool hand buffy cards like onto the board, and then you probably have other buffs too. It's a weird card. We'll have to see. Yeah, if you can get on the board and then buff it. Ooh, yeah. But I feel like a hand buff / also buff type paladin would definitely probably want some meat wagons, right?
Yeah.
Who doesn't want a meat wagon?
Who doesn't want one? Also, we've gone this long without getting an actual meat wagon in Hearthstone, which is crazy to me, going back to the Warcraft 3 days. All right, moving right along. Nerubian Unraveler is next. This is a 6-mana 5/5 epic neutral minion. Just reads, spells cost 2 more. Not your spells, not enemy spells, just spells.
Yep.
All spells. Yeah, this is a card, again, we're going to have to see this in action to really evaluate how good this effect is, and also what kind of deck it goes in. It's probably a deck that doesn't run a lot of spells itself and runs mostly minions and weapons. So I'm thinking some sort of a paladin deck. I also think hand
maybe
buff.
A big druid.
Possibly, yeah, because at a certain point you're just playing dudes.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah,
but you probably would just want big dudes in a big druid, right? So yeah, I don't know. It's Chad, it's street meat wagon.
I am never gonna live that down.
I love it.
But yeah, it's a very interesting card. It's definitely not like Lotheb power,
no.
Which is probably good, probably for the best. But it is like the first card since that card to really be, I think, a viable counter to just spell decks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Stop mages from burning your face out.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
It's fair. I think you'll definitely find yourself picking it in Arena, depending on what else it's up against. I like it. I'm not excited about it.
Yeah, it's fine. It's a card that does stuff, and maybe we need that to be a thing. I love that they. Okay, by the way, can I just point out there's no damn crabs in this set, and I'm real happy about that.
So
no
far.
Cards. Yeah.
Oh, no, you go knock on wood right now, Dills.
God damn it.
Go knock on
Please
wood.
don't throw in something that kills a thing and then also grows. Blizzard, just stop doing it. Okay, anyway. But this is the way that I want them to give you counter options, right? Counterplay. Like this, with a little drawback to it.
Yep. All right, Tomb Lurker. This is a 5-mana, 5/3 epic neutral minion with a battle cry that reads, add a random death rattle minion that died this game to your hand.
This is another 5-mana, 5/3. This is like the third or fourth one we've talked about today.
Yeah, it's a new kind of common stat line out of nowhere. Doesn't feel very good.
No, anything that does something with something that died immediately gets my attention, but this is the first one where I'm kind of staring at it like, I don't know, Tomb Lurker.
Yeah.
Does it go in your Quest Priest to just give you more death rattle gas?
I mean, that's definitely a question we'll have to see, but I feel like you could probably just run enough death rattles that you don't really need to play a bad 5-drop to do it, right? And the thing too is it doesn't go onto the board; it goes in your hand. So
yeah, that's true.
you know what I mean. You're playing a weak minion
then,
to get something back. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird.
Yeah,
it's probably bad.
I don't think you're at a loss of death rattle minions for Quest Priest. So
yeah,
I'm trepidatious on Tomb Lurker here.
Yep.
All right, final round. 8 more cards to go for today.
Yay!
Moving into the rares and the commons for the neutral cards. Kicking things off with Corpse Raiser, a 5-mana 3/3. Because you were already complaining about a 5-mana 5/3. This is a rare common or a rare neutral minion with a battle cry that reads: "Give a friendly minion death rattle. Resummon this minion."
Yeah, it being a 3/3 doesn't really matter. It's the effect that's the thing, right? So you need a really cool minion to live, and then you need to pop this bad boy on him, and then he comes back to life. That could be very powerful, but
it could be. Yeah. No, I think. This is a very cool effect. And if something does live a turn that you want to live, you can pop this on it before you make a trade or something. That's going to be fantastic. I mean, shamans have been trying to make this work for a while now.
Well, I mean, this is like another way to do what shamans are doing, right? So if you play that kind of wall shaman and you've got your ancestral spirit?
Yeah.
You got your ancestral spirit. You've got, you've got your spirit echoes, you got all your ways to bring things back and whatever, and then you got a Corpse Raiser too. So now you've doubled up on your ways to do things. That could definitely be a thing there.
Yeah, and Ancestral Spirit, I didn't even think about this. That's 2 mana, so it's like 2 on top of 3 mana for 3/3. So Corpse Raiser's fair.
Yeah, Ancestral Spirit on a stick, right? Not bad.
On a 3/3 stick.
Yeah. That's
okay
fine.
With that.
I mean, that's fine in that type of deck. Sure, N'Zoth decks, you put this on another, like a Death Rattle minion that you want, then you bring it back twice. You know what I mean? So, absolutely.
I dig it. I also dig Mindbreaker because that art is awesome. Mindbreaker is a 3-mana 2/5 rare neutral minion that reads simply: "Hero powers are disabled."
Hell yeah.
As long as this dude lives, no more hero power.
I feel like this is probably something that you play in like a warrior or a paladin or something where you don't necessarily have to do your hero power, but you
like
want to
your hero
disable.
power kind of sucks. And
but
probably better.
Yeah, you want to disable things like hunters and mages and warlocks.
Yeah, it's also cool just for like arena stuff and just timing it right when you probably think your opponent wants to and you don't need to anymore. It's generally going to live at least another turn. It's also a potential counter to Quest Warrior. Once they start bashing your face in with 8 damage fireballs, you could be like, "Stop it!" Mindbreaker says no. So I don't know. It's cool. And again, I like this type of countering rather than, if your opponent hero powers gain +3/+3. Like, no, stop it.
No, you're doing it wrong, Dills. It would just say hero powers are disabled, gain +1/+1 for every hero power disabled or something. It would be the same every game.
No.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
This is the way they should always be doing it. So thank you. Thank you, Blizzard. You're getting it right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Chad just made it's the Brian Brushwood card.
Oh my god!
yeah. Nice.
A little bit. Brian Brushwood didn't have the spikes on the side. It was just on the top.
That's true. They just went straight up.
This,
But yeah.
this is just straight up a haircut from World of Warcraft that you can put on your undead.
Yeah. Yep.
Phantom Freebooter is next. 4 mana, 3/3 rare neutral pirate with a battle cry that reads gain stats equal to your weapons.
Yay, more pirates.
This is fine though. This is not patches. This is not N'Zoth's first mate. Like this is kind of making pirates go more towards a mid-range strategy, which I'm okay with, rather than a just beat your face in strategy. So it's like Blizzard is like learning or something, right?
No
They're
way.
becoming self-aware. They're not putting in patches anymore. Yeah, I think this card is fine. It's like a card that you need to get a weapon out onto the board before you can play it. And then when you do, it's just a minion that doesn't do anything other than being kind of big, right? So, yeah, all right.
Yeah, and on Rogue, it just makes a fair minion. Like, you're guaranteed to get a 4/4 if you're playing Rogue most of the time.
Well, if you can dagger, I believe you'd be a 4/5, right? If you have a fresh
because
dagger.
if you dagger
right?
and you don't attack.
Oh, you're absolutely right, yeah, because of the durability.
So it's a Yeti if you just have a dagger.
It's a Yeti
which
if you're...
Whatever.
It's a Rogue Yeti.
But yeah, people are saying just worse than Naga Corsair. But like the idea that I'm kind of presenting is that if Pirate Warrior was just like a mid-range strategy, like Murlocs have become more of a mid-range strategy rather than what they were at the beginning. And when the game was in like beta, Murlocs were just this annoying aggro thing. That was
aggro,
just, And now they've become this mid-range thing where I'm like, hey, I don't mind you anymore because you're just a deck that synergizes with itself. And if Pirates did that rather than just be like, okay, well, here's what I do. I just go face all the time and ignore you. That's what makes them annoying to play against, right? So, but if they were just like, hey, play minions that are slightly better than they should be because I'm Pirates, that would be fine. So if that's what this kind of is.
If we head down that road, yes, you're absolutely right. But
we still have patches. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
We still have patches. Pirate Warrior is still a thing. I don't think Freebooter's finding a place in Pirate Warrior, but who knows?
Not in that version.
Maybe a mid-range rogue pirate becomes a thing and throws Freebooter in.
Sure.
Bone Mare.
Down the road, maybe. Down the road, maybe we don't hate pirates so much.
I love them in Wild just because of Ship's Cannon.
Yeah.
Card just puts a smile on my face. When I'm the one using it.
Not once you start playing a ton of Wild, because it's like all you play against at a certain point. That is just like clearly the best Wild deck.
Yeah. Anyway, on to Bone Mare, a 7 mana 5/5 common neutral minion with a battle cry that reads, give a friendly minion +4/+4 and taunt. It's gonna be
This is the new arena thing.
It's gonna be like an arena hero.
Yeah, this is the new North Sea Kraken. This is, this card is insane in arena and probably pretty bad in constructed. Yeah. Because arena, there's just going to be lots of minion combat, right? So you're going to start tearing stuff up once you get to 7. And then you just give all your stuff kings.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Except and taunt, right? Because
And
Blessing
taunt.
of Kings doesn't even
Kings
give
plus.
taunt. Yeah, Kings plus.
Yeah. No, I like Bone Mare.
Yeah.
I can't see it finding. I'm in your camp, Dills. I'm not sure it's going to find a home in constructed, but you're going to be seeing a lot of it on arena. So make friends with Bone Mare. You're going to be hanging out.
You can bone mare your meat wagon, and then
Yes.
Oh snap!
There's stuff that it's gonna do things. It can potentially do cool things. It's just harder to do it in constructed when people kill all your stuff more often.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Arena, there's all this board tension and minion combat, so he'll shine there.
Yeah. Arena should just be subtitled "Dude Fights." Cobalt Scaleblades next is a 5 mana 5/5 common dragon minion. At the end of your turn, give another random friendly minion +3 attack.
The at the end of your turn thing is very important here. So it's always going to happen if you can have another minion on board. So yeah, Dragon Priest, sure.
Yeah.
I could probably get a minion to be on board in Dragon Priest.
Right, it has the dragon tag.
Yeah. And obviously, like right now, it's hard to find enough dragons to play, right? In Dragon Priest these days, after a bunch of them went to Wild. Yeah. So here you go. Here's an actual viable dragon that you can play.
Yeah, absolutely. And also going back to Arena, I think you just pick it.
Oh, yeah, dude. Totally. Yeah. Totally. This is a super good card in Arena.
Yep. It'll buff any minion. The minion doesn't have to be a dragon itself to receive that +3 buff.
And your opponent's going to be forced to deal with it or else pay the consequence of having it just continue and continue and continue, right?
Yeah. Necrotic Geist, 6 mana, 5/3 common neutral minion is next and reads, whenever one of your other minions dies, summon a 2/2 ghoul.
No. Nah.
It's too expensive, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'd rather have Cult Master doesn't see play in Constructed, really.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see this seeing play. Like, it's better to probably spend 4 mana on a weak body and draw a bunch of cards than it is to spend 6 mana on a weak body and put a bunch of weak bodies on the board. Probably not good.
You said weak body a lot of times.
I did. Well, I mean, that's
what's going on with this card.
Yeah,
that's what's happening.
It is, again, fair as hell, though. So this could be broken if it was, a stronger minion itself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, stronger minion or a lower mana cost. Either of those two things could make this a rather scary card, but now it's pretty bland.
Mm-hmm.
But let's talk about a bland card that isn't bland at all because of that adorable art. Snow Flipper Penguin, which I agree with comments I've seen on Twitter. I think it's the snow flipping you off penguin. 0 mana, 1/1 common neutral beast. I love this card. I don't care if it's just vanilla. There's no card text. Finally, nothing to read.
I got so many tweets about this card because everyone was like, "Oh my god, it's like Tiny Finn. It's so cute." I don't know. I don't think it's that cute.
Oh, get out!
I want to
Burn.
wait and see what else we get.
Suck it, penguin.
I don't know. He looks funny to me somehow.
I love him. He's adorable with his little big eyeball, and he's giving you the finger with his flipper. Also, this is one of my favorite pets in World of Warcraft. Is like basically this model, so I'm excited about it.
I do remember running around Northrend just to go, tame a penguin several times. Yeah, whatever. Zombies fodder.
Zombies
right?
fodder. Yeah, it's 0 mana, 1/1. If you're some insanity happens where you're in need of a 0 mana beast in your beast deck.
Yeah.
I've got a Snow Flipper Penguin.
It's just gonna buff 1/1 to some other beast. That's what's gonna do. Yeah. It'll never actually see play anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you'll get it for free off of your jeweled macaw or whatever. That's basically how it's gonna work.
That's fine as long as I see a baby penguin in my Hearthstone game. Somehow I'm happy. Sunborn Valkyrie will be the final card we talk about today. This is a 5 mana, 5/4 common neutral minion with a battle cry that reads, give adjacent minions +2 health.
Yeah, dude. More arena love.
Hanging out with...
It's also maybe just good in a minion-based deck, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's been a while since we've had like the adjacent kind of placement buffing minions.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. So Defender of Argus is still probably going to see more play more often. But I could see also, I mean, this card could be pretty cool in a hand buff style Paladin. Could be pretty cool in just any super minion-based deck that plays a lot of little dudes that are sticky. But I think you're going to see this more often. It's another arena card. All these like neutrals, that's kind of what ends up happening to them, right? They end up going off into arena land, and that's where they live. And he'll be real cool there. He'll be super cool there.
Yeah.
She'll be super cool there.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Valkyrie. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
You know
what I mean.
Valkyrie art, by the way, across this entire set has been on point.
Good.
Been really enjoying all of it. This looks like a white card out of Magic, and that makes me happy.
Yeah, it does kind of have that feel, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And some of the priest cards are looking very like black cards in Magic to me, which I love. It's real creepy, real fast.
Yeah, like steal your stuff and do crazy things with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's starting to. Yeah, we're starting to get a little of a. It's what I want is I just want all the classes to have very like real identities, and we're definitely getting that with this set.
Certainly looks that way, and I think it's been Ungoro. I think took big steps in that direction as well. Oh, big steps because dinosaurs. I didn't even mean to do that, but yeah. There you go.
Well done.
Anyways, that brings us to the end of the card talk for this week. We did it. That was a lot of cards to talk about.
Not too bad.
Came in
2 hours.
just under 2 hours. All right, sweet, sounds good. We do have an outro to deal with, though, and we do have patrons to thank because the Angry Chicken is supported by our epic patrons supporting us over at patreon.com/TAC. So if you enjoy the Angry Chicken, if you like the show and you want to support us, head on over there and consider throwing $1 or $2 our way per episode. This week, thank you to Mike P, Gainsdolf the Way.
Yeah, that guy, he's my opponent tonight in the DHL.
That's fantastic.
Nice.
Special shout out, yeah.
Oh, that name's just ridiculous. Matthew H, Ricardo V, Maki VDS, Jeffy 83, and Hannah H. Thank you for the support, everybody, and also thank you to our producers, Declan H, Peter Williams, Michael N, Sean C, and Johnny S. All 5 Patreon producer slots currently taken up, which is insane to me.
Super awesome dudes. Thank you guys.
Yeah, so thank you everyone for your very, very generous contributions there. Check out the entire back catalog of The Angry Chicken over at amove.tv or at youtube.com/amovetv. Get our t-shirts over at shirts.amove.tv. Follow the show on Twitter at TAC Podcast and catch us live Tuesday nights at 4 p.m. Eastern over at twitch.tv/amovetv. Dills, where can folks find you?
Check me out on Twitter. I'm at Willie Dills, twitch.tv/Willie Dills, where I'll be streaming tons and tons of Hearthstone. And check out 1-900 Wrestling if you like wrestling. It's where we talk about that, and it's fun. And I do it with Justin Robert Young.
Badass. Jocelyn, how about you?
You can find me on Twitter and Twitch. I'm at Joss Plays. You can also find me right here on AMove TV on Wednesday nights doing my general gaming podcast called The Gamers In.
Nice. You can find everything I do on amove.tv, including the podcast Jocelyn and I just brought back from the dead. We discovered it from one of three podcasts that died previously in the game. It's called Embrace the Spoilers, and we're currently spoiling the new season of Game of Thrones. You can go and check that out on iTunes, Google Play, wherever podcasts can be found except Stitcher because they suck. And you should go do that. Check it out. It's also on amove.tv, so just go there. That's going to wrap it up for this episode. Thank you all for tuning in. Feels so great to be back. Until next time, job's done.
Job's done.
Job's done.
Yes!